This is 9 News at 5.
Good afternoon. Local health authorities are working to get in contact with more than 2,500 people who've entered South Australia from WA. Large parts of Western Australia plunged into lockdown following one positive COVID test. Let's go live to Rory McLaren. Rory, recent travellers from WA, they need to go straight into quarantine.
They do, Will, and SA Health is in the process of messaging 2,700 people who've come into South Australia from WA since Australia Day. Of course, that was January 26. It's all part of the plan to try and limit the movement of people who have arrived from the West after a Perth hotel quarantine security guard tested positive to the highly contagious UK strain of the virus. That discovery seeing parts of WA, including the capital itself, put into a 5-day lockdown, and authorities here rolling out a hard border with the state. Now, South Australian essential workers and residents are allowed to cross the border, but they must quarantine for 14 days and be tested on days 1, 5 and 12. Other travellers from WA remain shut out for now, and there was some confusion as the measures were hurriedly rolled out.
It's just updated on the system that we're doing 14 days quarantine now instead of just getting a test downstairs, so we will all be stuck inside.
Bit of a shock, unfortunately, but I guess travelling at this time, with this sort of situation, there was a risk.
When we're dealing with such dynamic circumstances, there's going to be an element of confusion in those early stages until we sort of get that momentum we require to be consistent and across the board with the same advice.
Well, the Transition Committee meets tomorrow and the Police Commissioner says he's waiting further information from WA officials before making any changes to the border arrangements.
OK, Rory McLaren, thank you. Let's get some more on this. And people in WA have been flocking to testing clinics. The state recording no new COVID cases today in the community or in quarantine. The panic in response to just one case, a hotel security guard testing positive to the virus. 66 close contacts have been tested. So far, 13 have come back negative. Authorities still trying to figure out how the virus leaked out.
Investigations are underway to find out exactly how the hotel quarantine worker picked up the virus. We must get to the bottom of what happened. WA Police will allocate strong resources to this inquiry, this investigation. They have the forensic expertise, to do the work that is required.
Nine's Elizabeth Creasy joins us from the Royal Perth Hospital COVID clinic there. Liz, what's the situation at the moment?
Well, Will, if you are one of the thousands of people here in Perth at the moment trying to get yourself a coronavirus test, the situation is not very good at the moment. If you take a look behind me, there are dozens of people lined up on this street this afternoon. Many of them have been waiting for around 6 hours to get that all-important test done today. It is a very hot day today. The temperature at the moment is about 35 degrees, so a lot of these people have been waiting for that test in these very hot conditions. But other than that, the situation here in WA is going okay at the moment. As you mentioned earlier, we have had no new reported cases of coronavirus today, with about 3,000 tests done in the last 24 hours. But we do, of course, remain in our strict 5-day lockdown that will run until at least Friday. Today is the first full day that we have been in lockdown, so it means that many workers have been told that they have to stay home today. School children have also been told that they cannot return to school this week as well. But the situation at the moment stands at that place, so we will find out from the Premier during the week whether or not this hard lockdown will extend. All of that will depend on whether the people who are queuing up for these coronavirus tests at the moment come back with negative or positive results. Well,
thank you very much, Elizabeth Creasy there live in Perth. Well, the Prime Minister has laid out his goals for the year and rolling out a coronavirus vaccine remains the #1 priority. Here's federal politics reporter Jonathan Kersley.
$1.9 billion will go towards the vaccine rollout and plenty is riding on it, all going to plan. If it doesn't, then it will pose political and economic problems for the Prime Minister. Last week, Health Minister Greg Hunt said the vaccine program was on track to start in February with an October completion. Today, the Prime Minister said the aim was to complete vaccinations by the end of the year, so it's clear this is becoming a moving feast. Added to that, there's concerns over export controls by the European Union, which risks preventing the Pfizer vaccines starting by the end of the month here in Australia, although the government says it's been assured it is still on track. But the whole world wants the vaccine, and with that in mind, CSL is already manufacturing the AstraZeneca vaccine in Melbourne.
And we have wisely planned for the unexpected. That is why we took the decision to take out the insurance of securing our own sovereign supply of vaccines by investing in COVID-19 vaccine production right here in Australia. Australia is one of a small handful of countries, once again, to have sovereign vaccine manufacturing capacity.
Today, though, we've seen tens of millions of people in the US and Canada, the UK, EU and other countries have already received their vaccinations, and still not a single Australian has received that vaccination.
The clock is ticking, and while the world battles the pandemic, the Prime Minister is also preparing to go to a global climate summit later this year with a goal to reach net zero emissions by 2050. In the short term, though, it's the vaccine program that will be his biggest target.
She became known as the Black Widow, but today Wendy Sue Dent had her murder conviction overturned. The 63-year-old was sentenced to life last year after a jury found her guilty of poisoning her partner David Lawrence with a cocktail of drugs at his Morphett Vale home in 2015. Today, Dent was granted a retrial. The Court of Criminal Appeal finding a judge didn't give adequate instructions to jurors about Dent's lies. They may have become overwhelmed, which could have led to a miscarriage of justice. This leaving the victim's family in disbelief.
We're upset. I was shattered. Yeah, we thought it was all over, but it's clearly not. So we'll just wait and see. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. Everyone's been wonderful with policing and the court and the DPP, and let's just wait and see what happens.
Dent didn't apply for bail and will front court again on Friday when a timeline will be set for the retrial. Recaptured SA fugitive Kaysan Cox has faced a bedside court hearing. Cox was injured during her arrest that involved a police dog at Greenwith on Saturday night. She's accused of staging a home invasion as she tried to escape from police. Now, Cox and an accomplice had been tracked from the Riverland after a petrol drive-off. The 32-year-old had been on the run for almost a month after cutting off a home detention tracker. She's been remanded in custody but remains in the Royal Adelaide Hospital where she's had surgery. An alleged crime spree across Adelaide's west has come to an end with the arrest of a 21-year-old at West Lakes. The man's accused of threatening staff with a weapon at a service station on West Lakes Boulevard just after 7 last night. He then tried to steal a mobile phone from 2 women on Lockside Drive before attempting to steal a push bike from someone else. On each occasion, he left empty-handed. The police helicopter was called in to locate the man who was arrested a short time later. Property and an animal sanctuary came under threat as a grass fire flared north of Port Lincoln this afternoon. The blaze broke out near Green Patch at 12:30, with the flames racing through dry stubble and threatening to reach scrubland. The CFS attacked spot fires at ground level and from the air, while farmers used their own equipment to help battle the blaze. Now, the blaze was controlled before it impacted the Glen Forest Animal Park, but crews are still on the scene this afternoon watching over any hotspots. Commuters have welcomed a cleaner public transport experience with new rail operator Keolis Downer ramping up hygiene practices on trains and at railway stations. The first weekday commute hailed a success after the transition from the state-owned network to be privately owned.
Nothing different at all. Same schedule.
Everything was on time.
It was, yeah. No difference. I wouldn't even know unless you'd told me.
Same as it always is. I come in here 6 days a week.
It was on time, yes it was, yeah.
There's a lot more cleaning going on than what there was prior. So even last week it was very slack, with the cleaning, and now it's, as you can see behind me, it's all happening.
Well, that was one of our early initiatives, was to really do a heavy clean on all of our stations and our rolling stock.
But still not enough drivers, so a number of public servants who chose not to join Keolis Downer are still at the controls. The remaining train drivers discussing their future with the state government this morning. Nearly 100 workers encouraged to take up other opportunities within the public sector. The opposition says they're stuck in a waiting pattern while being paid by taxpayers. Work has begun on the multi-million-dollar expansion of the Lyell McEwin Hospital in a bid to improve one of Australia's worst-performing emergency departments. As Harvey Biggs reports, the project will create hundreds of jobs, but the build is running well behind schedule.
Well, it's been a long time coming for residents here in the northern suburbs, but work is finally getting underway in the expansion of the emergency department here at the Lyell McEwin Hospital, which health authorities say when it's open, it'll start driving down patient wait times. The $58 million upgrade will increase capacity from 51 to 72 beds.
We know that the north is a very fast-growing part of our state, and that's why it deserves significantly enhanced facilities here at the Lyell McEwin Hospital.
Patient presentations to the hospital's emergency department increased 30% in the last decade, with the Lyell McEwin now ranked the second worst performing ED in the country, with just 49% of patients classified as seen on time within 4 hours.
The 40% increase in treatment bays that is being delivered by this project will help this hospital meet the ongoing growing needs of their community.
The project was due to be complete by June this year, but is currently running 9 months behind.
This has been massively delayed by the Liberals, and it means that people in the northern suburbs are suffering without that additional service for longer.
The expansion will include a dedicated mental health unit within the emergency department. The build will create 460 jobs. The ED is on track to be open in March next year.
Collingwood has admitted it has a long way to go after a bombshell report found there is systematic racism within the club. There are calls for outgoing president Eddie Maguire to step down immediately over the findings that outline how the club's culture sets dangerous norms for the public.
We have spent the last 6 years in particular in a deep dive into how we can make ourselves better.
Leaders admit the findings are confronting, saying the club is striving to do better. Now, time for a look at the drive home, I should say. You'll definitely have to slow down on Main North Road tonight. Traffic banking up near the intersection with Regency Road. Also, take care along Fullerton Road at Dulwich. Port Road looking busy heading into the city, but you shouldn't have any problems driving down Unley Road right now. We're kicking off February with some sunshine across Adelaide, and Chelsea Carey joins us now with the latest.
Will, we have blue skies across Adelaide. Temperatures are just a couple of degrees cooler than average. We hit a top of 25.6 degrees here in the city. Right now it's sitting on at 23, but when we factor in the cooler winds, well, it feels more like 20. And the mild summer conditions are set to continue tomorrow. It will become quite windy at times. There is a slight chance of a shower in the hills, but I'll be back with the full details just a little later.
OK, thanks, Chelsea. See you soon. Next in 9 News at 5, just how much was donated to Australia's political parties last financial year. Plus, the library book returned after more than 4 decades.
Whatever you think you know about the most memorable brides and grooms will all change tonight.
I don't know what I was thinking, and now it'll be a different story.
The real truths finally come out.
I will never forgive that behaviour, ever.
A night of regrets.
No chance at a reconciliation.
And revelations.
They could ever tell me how to raise my son. What? That is hard to watch. I will never be that person again.
The Grand Reunion special event concludes tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Right now with Mannix, you can get ducted reverse cycle heating and cooling for an average sized home from as little as $6,990 fully installed. Smaller homes from just $5,990 fully installed.
Did you know there are 2 sides to every fence? Brickworks transform your existing post and rail, panel or timber fencing. Brickworks is lightweight, quick to install and cost effective. Get on the right side of the fence with Brickworks.
If you don't know what else is out there, then how can you know what life you really want to live? Rediscover the magic of dating. It's easy. Just go to silversingles.com.au, register and receive matches right away. Start your search today at silversingles.com.au.
Are you looking to buy Bitcoin? Choose the exchange trusted by over 150,000 Australians. Independent Reserve. It's fast, easy and secure. Buy Bitcoin today with Independent Reserve.
light years ahead of the majors.
Another real review from a satisfied Aussie broadband customer. With thousands of 5-star reviews, all Australian support and an award-winning NBN network, we're out of this world. Aussie broadband, can't beat feedback.
When you're an RAA member, you can focus on what matters most.
Come on, you buzzers!
You see, our members are at the heart of everything we do. And everything we do is to keep our members moving.
Are we members, Mummy?
Of course. Because we're locals too, moving with you right here in South Australia. RAA.
Keep on moving on.
The Nick Army January sale extended for 1 week only. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Army January sale must end Sunday.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that, and that. Not so good for that. But for a delicious meal every time, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
The final days of Donald Trump.
We will never give up. We will never concede.
The television event you have to see to believe. From the cameras inside the White House on the night he lost.
They'll say the president was crying.
To the bloody battle on Capitol Hill.
Let's have trial by combat.
The Trump downfall.
This is a cunning sociopath, an orange wrecking ball.
Sunday after 60 Minutes.
More than $18 million was donated to our political parties in the past financial year. Nearly half of that figure came from just 5 donors, according to the Australian Electoral Commission. Clive Palmer was the biggest donor, bankrolling close to $6 million to his own party. But Australia's financial disclosure system is facing fresh scrutiny.
35% of all donations are hidden behind some kind of curtain, so we cannot even find out who's giving the money. And it's not 35% of a small sum, it's 35% of $1 billion.
Only donations above $14,300 need to be disclosed. Mongol's bikie boss Toby Mitchell has avoided jail time over 2 assaults, a magistrate instead giving him 6 months to reform. Nine's Eliza Rugg reports from Melbourne.
Toby Mitchell pleaded guilty to 2 separate assaults, but the bikie boss found out today he's got 6 months to prove himself to a magistrate by doing alcohol and anger management counselling, and then he will be sentenced and he'll likely avoid jail. The 45-year-old was facing a total of 6 months prison time for the incidents, one in Southbank in November last year, where prosecutors say he attacked a homeless man unprovoked. The victim then fought back and Mitchell ended up the one more badly injured. Adding to his health problems, Mitchell's lawyer says he still suffers from organ damage after being shot in 2011. At the time of the Southbank attack, the Mongols president was already on bail for another drunken assault a month earlier. Toby Mitchell was with friends at Gilson restaurant in South Yarra when he slapped a man twice with his open palm, then hit him again. Police say that victim was too scared to report the incident, but it's believed he was left with a suspected facial fracture. Toby Mitchell had been assessed for a community corrections order, but Corrections Victoria said today they needed more time. So the magistrate deferred Toby Mitchell's sentence until September and told the bikie boss he now needs to spend the next 6 months behaving himself by going to alcohol and anger management counselling. What's your plan for the next 6 months? Are you confident you can stay out of jail again? In another legal win for Toby Mitchell, the magistrate agreed to relax his bail conditions so he can now talk to friends that he was banned from speaking to, and he also no longer has to abide by an 8 p.m. curfew.
A man has been shot at 4 times during a drive-by attack. The 51-year-old father was sitting on his balcony when his family home was peppered with bullets. And stranger still, police in Sydney don't know why he was targeted. Grace Fitzgibbon has the story.
Well, being targeted in a drive-by shooting is frightening enough, but imagine being on your front veranda and witnessing the whole thing unfold. That is the case for 51-year-old Tui Pulavea. He was sitting having a cigarette around 2 this morning when a white sedan drove past his Frank Street home, firing 4 gunshots in his direction. Thankfully, the bullets struck a parked car in the front lawn.
Just a car came past and went bang, bang, bang. It was scary, but I just want to know why they wanted to come and shoot at us. I haven't done nothing.
Sleeping inside the house at the time was Tui's wife and his 3 young daughters, all of which escaped injury. Rather than running inside and phoning police, the 51-year-old grabbed the keys to a work car and tried to chase the shooter down the street.
Luckily enough for him, he didn't find it. It was extremely dangerous. Obviously, these people were armed.
Police are now looking for information on a small white sedan captured driving up and down the street at the time. Detectives say at this stage they believe that this was a random attack and that the bullets fired were not intended for the Pulavea family.
3 of the 4 men charged with drugging and gang raping 2 teenage girls in Brisbane have faced court on more than 40 offences. Here's Mia Glover with the details.
Oh, it is a crime that's really rocked the community. 2 15-year-old girls allegedly drugged and gang raped by up to 10 men. Now, 2 of those men, aged 21 and 22, had their matters heard here at the Richlands Magistrate Court this morning, but the courts do prevent us from identifying them. But what we do know is that they've been charged with about 40 offences each, including rape, indecent treatment of a child and making threats. They stayed in the watch house this morning. They didn't come up, and the lawyer for one of them didn't apply for bail. Had anything to say about the matters this morning?
No, I won't be commenting on any matters that are currently before the court. Thank you.
A third man faced court in Brisbane, a 19-year-old. He did apply for bail and denies any wrongdoing. Now, during that application, more details came to light about what exactly happened on December 28. Police alleging the girls met one of the men on Snapchat, agreed to meet up with him at Callumvale District Park, where dozens of people were there for over about a 3 to 4 hour period. Now, a broken bottle was allegedly used to harm the girls as well. Now, the 19-year-old's lawyer telling the court his client didn't know the ages of the girls. He didn't know that they were quite young, but says he was concerned for their well-being and dropped them to a local train station.
It's not appropriate to make a comment at this time.
That bail application was formally refused today by the magistrate. Now, a 4th man has already fronted court. He fronted court on Saturday. He is remanded in custody as well. All 4 of these men will front court again at a later date.
Moves are underway to send an extradition request to India in a bid to track down a person of interest in Toya Cordingley's murder. The 24-year-old was attacked in far north Queensland in October 2018 while taking her dog for a walk. MP Warren Entsch says the Attorney-General is working with Queensland Police to finalise a brief of evidence. Police have identified one person of interest in the case, Rajwinder Singh, who flew to India after Toya's death. A man has been arrested over the death of a Geelong mother following reports of an assault. Elizabeth Moss with the details.
Just a few metres from a primary school where kids were enjoying their first day back, that's where the tragedy unfolded inside this unit. Neighbours say they overheard yelling coming from the Thompson property around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Later that night, police were called to reports of an assault.
It's shaken us up a little bit. Yeah, it's really, really sad.
Police found a woman in a critical condition. They tried to resuscitate the mother, but sadly, she died at the scene. Her neighbours and friends still in shock.
Incredibly sad and scary.
She was really kind, and so I'm just sad that a nice person would go.
A man was arrested at the scene and has been assisting police with their inquiries. This morning, forensics and detectives from the homicide squad scoured the scene, trying to piece together exactly how this tragedy unfolded. It's believed the man and woman were known to each other, and at this stage, police aren't looking for anyone else in relation to her death.
After 6 long weeks, Queensland has finally opened up to Greater Sydney. Today, hundreds of people rushed over the border to reunite with their loved ones. Shannon Marshall-McCormack has the details.
Well, it's been an emotional morning of reunions for hundreds of passengers getting off flights from Sydney this morning after Queensland took down its borders and eased those restrictions to people from Greater Sydney. They haven't been able to come here for over 6 weeks because of that initial outbreak. It's been now contained, and so plenty of people have come home to Queensland, some of them to see their family who they haven't seen in more than a year.
Look what Nanny got you. We Skype every day, but 2 years.
We haven't been to Queensland for 12 months.
How long has it been since you've seen each other? 1.5 years.
It's been very hard. Missed out on the kids growing up, obviously, like my nephews and my niece.
But just as the crisis eases in New South Wales, it's now developing in Western Australia, with at least one person there testing positive for COVID-19, believed to be the highly infectious UK strain. That means people coming to Queensland now from Perth, Peel or the southwest region of WA will now have to undergo a mandatory 14 days hotel quarantine. And the warning now from Queensland Health is for anyone who has been in Perth since January 25, that has now been moved back a day to January 25, will need to isolate until they get tested and return a negative result.
Shocking dashcam footage has captured the moment a dog fell out of the window of a moving car in Melbourne. The Toyota Yaris can be seen going through a roundabout when the pup leans out and tumbles onto the road. Now, it managed to walk away seemingly uninjured and into the arms there of its owner. A textbook has been returned to a university campus in Victoria after 43 years. Staff received the blast from the past in the mail along with a note.
We knew the book was coming because the person who'd borrowed it had been in touch with us to let us know that they were going to return it. He was a mathematics lecturer in the late 70s.
It's the oldest return the library's ever seen, but they're honouring the honesty and they won't be issuing an overdue fine. There's been a baby boom at Sydney's Taronga Zoo. 4 Bolivian squirrel monkeys have arrived safe and sound, much to the delight of their keepers. For now, the bubs are sticking very close to mum, but in a few weeks they'll branch out and start exploring their exhibit. Well, 9 News at 6 is coming up and Brenton Raglas joins me now. Brenton, the COVID emergency in Perth, well, it's cast a cloud over the whole hotel quarantine system.
Yes, it has, Will. Good to see you. The security guard there, his positive diagnosis raised concerns about how often Medi-Hotel staff are being tested here in Adelaide. We'll have those details soon. We'll also see the moment brazen thieves targeted a northern suburbs pet shop, and you won't believe what they stole. That story's coming up. OK,
looking forward to it. Thanks very much, Brenton. Next, British war hero Sir Thomas More in hospital with coronavirus. Plus, stranded in the UK, an Australian man battling stage 4 cancer gets a dying wish to come home.
Fighting for Sweet Maddie. She's stuck in this public housing shoebox. Now our campaign to get Maddie the home she deserves. A current affair tonight.
The most exhilarating millionaire special event is here.
Locked in for 32,000.
Tonight, a star-studded Aussie lineup takes on the biggest game show on the planet. The emotion and drama will blow you away. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Celebrity Special, tonight on 9.
Get your Woolies worth and save $10 off your online shop when you enter code SAVE at the checkout. Minimum spend applies. Visit woolworths.com.au and start shopping today.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Need new wardrobes? With 25% off Classic Robes' range of traditional, modern or contemporary designs, it's the perfect time to visit our showroom or classicrobes.com.au for 25% off this month only.
If you've been thinking about university, there's never been a better time to enrol because Open Universities Australia are here to help you along the way. Get started by exploring thousands of online courses from leading universities across the country, and we'll help you enrol online with ease without entry requirements. But enrolments close on the 21st of February. So why wait when you can get started with Open Universities Australia? Explore, choose, enrol.
It's easy to tame your home loan with our lowest ever fixed rate. Switch to Police Credit Union and lock in a cracking 3-year fixed rate home loan. You could save thousands. Call, visit a branch or find us online today.
Got the fishing rod.
Oh, good one.
Sometimes plans change. With the Optus Flex plan, you can scale your data up and down from your My Optus app. It starts with yes.
Well done.
My name is Brian. My main occupation was communications in the mining industry. Before I connected with ACH Group's services, I felt isolated, disconnected from the community and very lonely.
At ACH Group, we listen because your needs and interests are different. The solution is too.
ACH Group's helped me access Riverside artists. What I enjoy most is the art, but also companionship with the others. Life is really good. Brilliant.
ACH Group. Good lives for older people. Phone 1300 22 4477.
We're announcing something big. The big deal is now on at Mazda, and we're putting value on 2020 plate vehicles front and centre, like CX-8 Sport from $41,490 drive away. Search Mazda offers today.
Good afternoon, Bethany Hisco with your latest traffic thanks to Baker's Delight. You'll find a burst water main on Main North Road near Park Street. One lane is out for inbound, so expect delays and restrictions through there this afternoon. In Pasadena, another burst water main on 5 Ash Drive causing a few delays too. Go back to school with Baker's Delight's high fibre, low GI lunchbox rolls. Perfect lunchbox size and super soft crusts. Head into your local Baker's Delight for a 6-pack today.
You're watching Adelaide's 9 News at 5 from our studios here in Hindmarsh Square. To some of the stories we're following. Local health authorities are moving to contact more than 2,500 people who've entered SA from Western Australia. That's after large parts of that state were plunged into lockdown following a positive COVID test result. Commuters have welcomed a cleaner public transport experience with new rail operator Keolis Downer ramping up hygiene practices on trains and at railway stations. Work has begun on the multi-million-dollar expansion of the Lyell McEwin Hospital in a bid to improve one of Australia's worst-performing emergency departments. And Collingwood has admitted it has a long way to go after a bombshell report found there is systematic racism within the club. To World News now, Myanmar's leader has been detained in overnight raids as the military stages a coup against the government. In a message broadcast on their own television station, the military declared a state of emergency and said they were taking over the country for a year. There's reports of soldiers on the streets, but state television is unable to broadcast with all communication lines cut. The army is claiming the government ignored widespread voter fraud, but haven't provided any proof. A siege is underway between security forces and Islamic terrorists at a hotel in Somalia. A group detonated a car bomb at the gate before gunmen stormed the building in the country's capital. A rescue is underway for those inside the hotel. It's not known exactly how many people were killed. The country's former defence minister was among the casualties. Russian police have arrested more than 5,000 protesters rallying across the country in support of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. Officers used tasers before dragging demonstrators away to police vans. Navalny will face court tomorrow. His allies are vowing to protest again. Well, stranded in the UK and diagnosed with terminal cancer, Australian Brendan Suggett is desperate to come home. But the 34-year-old says he's been struggling to get to Sydney due to strict passenger caps. Europe correspondent Carrie-Anne Greenbank has the story.
Well, Brendan Suggett has said that when his flight was cancelled, it was heartbreaking and gut-wrenching. The 34-year-old was diagnosed with terminal cancer last October and given months to live. Like thousands of other Australians, he has been trying to get home ever since. He says he just wants to spend the time he has left with family and friends in Sydney. He managed to secure a flight for this coming week, but it was cancelled. He was informed that that was due to the New South Wales passenger caps, which were halved last month. Brendan is now appealing for state governments to do more to help stranded Australians.
It's really important to get home, and I think it's important for any Australian to be able to get back to their country that they love and they cherish. It's very disheartening to kind of almost feel like your country doesn't want you.
Brendan's story has a positive outcome. After family and friends made public appeals to help get him home, he has been offered a new flight for this week, but he says he now feels for the 40,000 other Australians still stranded overseas.
Pandemic hero and war veteran Captain Tom Moore has been admitted to hospital after testing positive to COVID-19. The 100-year-old was knighted by the Queen last year after raising $32 million for Britain's National Health Service by walking dozens of laps of his garden with the help of his walking frame. World Health Organization team investigating the origins of COVID-19 has inspected the Wuhan market where the virus was first detected. The international group of experts is conducting a series of field visits in the city and touring hospitals and laboratories under the supervision of Chinese officials. Journalists and locals have been barred from the seafood market since January last year. More than 100 million people are under winter weather alerts across the United States as a powerful snowstorm brings more than 10 inches of snow to some areas. Roads have been shut down as ice makes for slippery and dangerous conditions. Several firefighters hospitalised after their trucks rolled in Virginia and North Carolina. In Washington, D.C., residents were quick to make the most of a rare snowfall, but sledding was later banned due to COVID concerns. Tennis champion Stefanos Tsitsipas has been used his first day out of hotel quarantine in Melbourne to pay a visit to a popular Greek restaurant. Alan Rascal caught up with him.
So what do you get when you cross a souvlaki with a tennis star? A delicious bite. Fresh out of quarantine, Stefanos Tsitsipas cooking up a storm at Stalactites, raising funds for food charity, Second Bite, and a charity close to his heart, Together for Children.
I try and put a smile on people's faces and provide something important, and it's obviously for a good cause, something that I would say it's pretty relevant for 2020. And my charity, I've been supporting my charity for many years now, and I'm trying to bring happiness to children and give shelter and home and provide food for children in need. So these two charities were my first top priority. That's why I focused primarily there.
How was quarantine?
Quarantine, it had its ups and downs. You know, there were certain moments that I was feeling happy and okay, and there were other days where I was a little bit depressed, felt the need to be with people. But overall, I would assess it as a pretty stable period. I got very creative. I had many things occupying my time, which was nice to see. You know, I found ways to spend my time with quality.
Always a tournament favourite, he's won the hearts of Melbourne. Also in attendance, the Greek ATP tennis team, including his younger brother Petros. With lamb, tzatziki, pomegranate, feta and chips, the Tsitsipas souvlaki is on sale until the end of the Open. The mouthwatering delight costing $17. So what are you waiting for? Time to tuck in for charity.
Coming up, the latest on Adelaide's weather and treaders with our sports snapshot.
The real truths finally come out.
That is hard to watch.
The Grand Reunion special event concludes tonight, 7:30.
From tropical North Queensland
Get her in the crotch.
to freezing cold Tassie,
Tasmania, come on down.
the Travel Guide's Aussie adventure is getting more outrageous.
Take it in, world. It's a big package.
Tuesday, 7:30. Watch out with Sundays. Here comes trouble.
Why are your pants off?
I'm in the ocean. I'm freeing Willy.
Travel Guide's Aussie Spectaculars. Tuesday on 9.
At Terry White Chemmart, get real deals on trusted brands like pharmacy-only Panadol Osteo, Pain Away and Hydrolite. Shop in-store or online. Real value every day at Terry White Chemmart.
Well, stains, grime, crusty slime. Let's clean your lounge today. Germs and spots, say bye-bye. Expert care is on its way.
Make your lounge feel fresh and new. All you need's Electro Dry.
Dry, Electro Dry, Electro Dry.
Sometimes, even the best tenants can cause damage to your investment property that standard building insurance may not cover. Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, provides the cover you need for your property and rental income. Have confidence that your investment property is in safe hands.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
The sun. It makes our ingredients better, and this tastes better. Actually, sunshine makes everything better. 95% sugar-free. Enjoy the deliciously refreshing taste of Lipton iced tea.
Lendy is helping thousands of households save on average about $2,832 in interest over the next year on their home loans. That's millions in savings for Aussies when they need it most. How can Lendy help you save?
Australia. There's no country like it. That's why all Mobil Synergy fuels were formulated to protect your engine from the first fill, like a shield against rust corrosion and harmful deposits. As long as we put our engines to the test in the city, in the country, at the beach, and the bush, we'll need engine protection made for Australia. Mobil Synergy Fuels. Engine protection sorted.
Be healthy. Be out there. Be like Molly.
I jumped on the scales. I was just under 100 kilos. I was unhappy and I needed to make changes. What I liked about OptiSlim was its convenience, it was affordable and it tasted great. Weight loss results were instant and I lost a total of 34 kilos. OptiSlim has changed my life. I look great and I feel great.
Start your journey your way at optislim.com.au or Chemist Warehouse today.
The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery is here, and check out the $4 million grand prize. You could be living the dream mortgage-free in this fully furnished Scott Salisbury home on the Esplanade at Henley Beach. Plus, it comes with $1 million cash. With over 15,000 incredible prizes to win, you don't want to miss this one. Get your tickets today and join the fight for cures, better treatments and improved care.
Warren Treadray joins me now with our sports snapshot.
Thanks, Will. The Adelaide Crows women's team has begun 2 weeks self-isolation after last night returning from Perth. The AFL today confirming the Crows' scheduled game against Fremantle at Nord Oval on Sunday won't be played this weekend. The skipper, Chelsea Randall, is still smiling after her first game back from a knee reconstruction.
For me personally, a little bit different up forward and kind of forget that there's actually some big sticks that I could try to kick through next time and instead of passing it on. But yeah, we've got lots to learn still, and you know, it's good in this sense that we can take the time and connect with one another so we can have these conversations, reflect on the game that we've had so that we can move forward and put ourselves in a better position going forward.
Assistant coach Tom Lynch will have to isolate for the next 2 weeks. Well, the COVID climate has forced Port Adelaide to spend one of the key weeks of its pre-season at home at Alberton.
We've called it Camp Week effectively. You know, it's our signature week of the program. You know, they'll experience probably the biggest loads they'll get right throughout the season. So come Friday, they'll be pretty worn out. So yeah, our workload's going to obviously go up a fair bit. You know, with that we get to throw in a few other little things too and have some fun and along the way and a chance to build sort of some of those connection things that we've built on the last couple of years. So we'll use the week for all those things.
The Power will play a practice game against the Crows at the end of the month before hopefully playing its solitary community series match against West Coast in Perth. New Adelaide Thunderbirds recruit Latanya Wilson has arrived in town after flying in from Jamaica via Sydney.
So I've been in quarantine for 14 days. It was rough, but I managed. I'm pretty excited. It'd be really good to be in Adelaide now.
The T-Birds are still working on how to get fellow Jamaican Shamira Sterling and South African Lenise Potgieter and Shadeen van der Merwe back into the country. Brisbane Heat's chances of reaching the Big Bash final have been boosted, with the COVID lockdown seeing Thursday night's challenger against the Scorchers move from Perth to Canberra. The Heat last night chasing down the Thunder's total of 158 with 5 balls to spare.
That's a good blow. Swing. Oh, that's over-pitched. Jimmy Pearson's not going to let that go.
The winners take on the Sydney Sixers in the final. Liverpool has stormed back into Premier League title race.
Mo Salah's dancing feet and fabulous finish.
The Reds climbing to third after Mo Salah's double at West Ham. Leicester missed a chance to go second, losing 3-1 at home to Leeds. Tottenham stumbled to a 1-0 at Brighton, while Chelsea rose to 7th after Thomas Tuchel's first win in charge, 2-0 over Burnley. The favourites winning and losing, I don't know how you predict it. That's sport.
Indeed. Thanks very much, Treaders. Next, we'll take a look at what's trending and Aussie lives saved thanks to the tireless work of cancer researchers.
The rise and fall of TV star Andrew O'Keefe. His wild party days, now charged by police with common assault against his partner. A current affair tonight.
Television's biggest blockbuster is finally here. Incredible stuff! The Australian Open, only on 9 and 9 now.
When your demanding day brings on a demanding headache, ask for Nurofin's Advanced Liquid Capsules from Chemist Warehouse. Each capsule has a thin seam that unleashes ibuprofen fast to help sort out pain quickly. And right now, exclusive to Chemist Warehouse, you can get a Nurofin's Advanced Liquid Capsules value pack for just $17.99. Don't let pain be in charge of your day. Leave your headaches to Nurofin's Advance. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
This home near the city, sold by McGain. Here in the south, sold by McGain. Down by the beach, that's right, sold by McGain again. Buying or selling, there's one line to remember. Sold by McGain again.
Beef tortellini, Aussie mixed grill, apple and sultana strudel. It's Meals on Wheels.
Really?
Really. Go to mealsonwheelsa.org.au.
Athena is the home loan wrecker, changing the game so you can pay off your mortgage faster. Athena is helping Australians knock years off, on average saving their customers $50,000 over the life of their loan. With Athena's new Accelerates, we drop your rate automatically as you pay down your loan. It's an Aussie first. We have zero fees, and our super low rates from 2.19% will help you pay down your loan. Visit athena.com.au to see how much you could save. Athena, love us and leave us.
Hey, find me a place to fix my car.
Are you looking for a day spa?
Not spa, car.
Do you need a new bra?
No, I need to fix my car.
Showing results for how to play guitar.
No! What?
With over 450 RAA-approved repairers across SA, there's always one not too far. RAA.
Keep on moving on.
At Wallspan, it's all about you. We'll work with you to create your dream kitchen. Book your kitchen renovation this month and receive 50% off your cabinets. Visit a Wallspan kitchen showroom or arrange an appointment online. Wallspan, where it all comes together.
At Telstra, our 7-day price match on a range of phones. Using Telstra Plus points and trading in selected phones can help make technology more affordable.
Dr. Sanders, how does it feel to be responsible for the life of the president?
It's the most important thing in the world.
Do you love your family, Ellen?
Toni Collette stars in the gripping drama.
Why are you doing this?
You're gonna kill the president, otherwise we will kill your family.
Hostages. Stream it on 9 now. Your world of free entertainment.
Good afternoon, Bethany Hisker with your latest traffic thanks to Baker's Delight. You'll find a burst water main on Main North Road near Park Street. One lane is out for inbound, so expect delays and restrictions through there this afternoon. In Pasadena, you'll find another burst water main on Firebash Drive, so expect delays there too. Go back to school with Baker's Delight's high fibre, low GI lunchbox rolls, perfect lunchbox size and super soft crusts. Head into your local Baker's Delight for a 6-pack today.
Let's look at the news and events getting reaction online. A tweet from a politician in the US has created a big discussion about living standards, wages and the price of a Big Mac in different parts of the world. Bernie Sanders tweeting McDonald's worker in the US $9 an hour, McDonald's worker in Denmark $22 an hour, 6 weeks of annual vacation, a union, 1 year of paid family leave, life insurance and pension. America must join the rest of the industrialised world and ensure that our working class can live with dignity. It's part of a push that's supported by President Joe Biden to raise the minimum wage in the US from $7.25 to $15 by 2025.
Anybody with a brain in his or her head understands you can't live on $7.25, you can't live on 10, you can't live on $12 an hour. We got half the people in this country, Ali, who are living paycheck to paycheck. And we've got to raise that minimum wage to at least $15 an hour.
Since Bernie brought up McDonald's, a lot of people then comparing the price of a Big Mac. The latest World Big Mac Index in US dollars shows the burger is $5.66 in America, cheaper at $4.90 in Denmark, yet workers have much better conditions. Now, to put America's wages in perspective, the Australian minimum wage is $19.84 or $15 in US money. A large number of small-time stock market traders, just like the ones who turned GameStop from a failing store to be worth billions, now appear to be moving into the precious metals market. The hashtag silver squeeze is trending. Major trading firms revealing there is unprecedented demand for silver. The price of silver surging 8.5%. on top of a 6% increase last week. The Winklevoss twins, who famously sued Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and are big in Bitcoin, tweeted, "The silver squeeze is the rage against the machine." This appearing to be the latest campaign designed to hurt the traditional and powerful multi-billion-dollar Wall Street traders. Well, a town dubbed the coldest place in Finland has launched an interesting campaign, and their video to host the Summer Olympics in 2032 is getting a lot of attention. And attention is just what they want, but their message is much bigger than sports. The people of Sala are worried that their bitterly cold town will be perfect for the Summer Games in just over a decade if climate change continues at the current rate.
Tervetuloa Sallaan, Suomen kylmimpään paikkaan. Me haluamme järjestää täällä kisat, vuoden 2032 kesäkisat.
Kiitos ilmastonmuutokselle, niin lumi tuolla, niin se tulee olemaan hiekkaa sitten silloin. Talvi tulee olemaan paljon lyhyempi.
Tähän meille tulee stadion. Warm heart, we have it.
Warm place, coming soon.
The video getting hundreds of thousands of views across social media. Just 3 summers ago, in the nearby capital of Finnish Lapland, a record temp of 32 was recorded, and there was then a lack of snow for tourists in the lead up to Christmas. And the 2032 campaign has a slogan, "Save Sala, save the planet." A social media debate over Australia's best ever basketballer has broken out, and Twitter has firmly decided. Aussie Joe Ingles broke the 3-point record for the Utah Jazz, overtaking legend John Stockton, and that saw a Melbourne radio show pose the question. Names like Andrew Gaze, Andrew Bogut, Ben Simmons thrown about on Twitter, but the overwhelming amount of support is for Lauren Jackson.
I mean, how good is Lauren Jackson when she's healthy? She can be the Defensive Player of the Year. She can be the MVP. I mean, what can't she be? It's incredible.
3 on the clock. Jackson got it!
The argument really does stack up. Lauren Jackson won 3 WNBA MVP awards, 2 championships there. She led the Opals to 4 Olympics, winning 3 silver and a bronze. She won 5 WNBL titles and the first Australian nominated for the prestigious James Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Quite a career. Well, encouraging news from the Cancer Council, with new data revealing 107,000 Australian lives have been saved over the past 20 years, thanks to improvements in cancer prevention, detection, screening and treatment. The study found there were 2% more cases since 1995. There were 20% fewer cancer deaths in people aged under 75. Taking a look at petrol prices across Adelaide now. Shop around in the north. It's down to around about $1.12 at one outlet in Salisbury. You'll pay more down south, averaging much higher, $1.50 there. Hold off in the east if you can, $1.56 at many spots, and you can find it for $1.10 on Grange Road. Here's our shot of the day now. Scandinavia's biggest film festival is going ahead despite COVID with a twist. The event will take place on a deserted island off the coast of Sweden with only one person there. Frontline nurse Enroth won the sole ticket from 12,000 applicants and will spend a week on the island watching movies all by herself. Well, it's almost time for 9 News at 6, but first, Chelsea Carey has the latest weather forecast. That's next.
Whatever you think you know about the most memorable brides and grooms will all change tonight.
I don't know what I was thinking, but now it'll be a different story.
The real truths finally come out.
I will never forgive that behaviour. Ever.
A night of regrets.
No chance at a reconciliation.
And revelations.
Don't you ever tell me how to raise my son. What?
That is hard to watch. I will never be that person again.
The Grand Reunion Special Event concludes tonight, 7:30 on 9. A star-studded Aussie lineup will take on the world's biggest game show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Tonight.
Biggest brands, best prices, like reverse cycle roomies from $4.99, inverter splits from only $5.49, or replacement ducted units from just $24.90. Air conditioning, warehouse sales, Salisbury, Richmond and Lonsdale. Airwaresales.com.au.
The Nick Scali January sale, extended for 1 week only. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scali January sale must end Sunday.
There's only one thing better than a Domino's $5 pizza. Having it delivered to your car for no extra charge. $5 pizzas, bring it in.
Northeast Isuzu's Monster Truck Rumble. Adelaide Showground, Feb 12 and 13. Monster Truck Motor, fireworks, free pit party, freestyle motocross, off-road buggy action, plus rides in the kids zone. Monster Truck Rumble. Friday, Feb 12 and Saturday, Feb 13. Tickets at ticketek.com.au.
Are you looking to buy Bitcoin? Choose the exchange trusted by over 150,000 Australians. Independent Reserve. It's fast, easy and secure. Buy Bitcoin today with Independent Reserve.
Great food lives in Foodland. The mighty South Aussies, yeah.
By the year 2030, nearly 3 million Australian homes will have solar panels on their roof. But the transition to cleaner, more sustainable energy, like solar energy, would not be possible without copper. Imagine that. A resources company making it possible for millions of Australian homes to be powered by the sun. Think big.
For 100 years, Macleays have proudly carpeted thousands of Adelaide homes. The showroom hosts one of Adelaide's largest display of carpets, including the quality Red Book range. But it's the Macleay experience that keeps people coming back, helping you make the best choices for your home and your lifestyle. It's a proud tradition, and that's why they love what they do. So come in and meet the team at Macleay's Carpets, 243 Glen Osmond Road, Frueville.
Tomorrow, our COVID vaccination mega panel. All your questions answered about the where, the when and who gets the jab first.
Plus, home cleaning hacks, simple tricks that can make our lives just a little bit easier. We'll see you from 5:30.
This weather report brought to you by Manix Air Conditioning. For the best prices on air conditioning for your home, nobody beats Manix.
9 News at 6 is just moments away. Kate and Brendan join me now. What's coming up?
Yeah, hi, Will. Well, coming up tonight, we'll tell you how a major upgrade to the Lyell McEwen will reduce wait times for northern suburbs patients.
Also, Will, why Adelaide's trains are getting a deep clean.
And a major energy provider is branching out into mobile phone plans. How you can get a better deal. That's coming up in 9 News tonight at 6.
Great stuff. See you soon. Thanks very much. Well, right now, let's get the latest weather forecast with Chelsea Carey.
Well, we have some sunshine for the first day of February. Temperatures are just a little cooler than average, though. Right now, it's sitting on 21 degrees. Our top today in the city was 25.6. We've had blue skies right across the suburbs. Mawson Lakes and Elizabeth, the warmest spots, hitting 26. It's been a little cooler up on Mount Lofty. And a high pressure system is keeping skies mostly dry across South Australia. But you can see over in the east, there's wet and wild weather on the way. For Sydney tomorrow, the chance of thunderstorms and up to 15 millimetres of rain. Potentially a storm over Canberra too, but over in the west, looking hot and sunny in Perth. Back home, dry across our north and west. Winds picking up around Port Augusta and Whyalla. A top of 26 for Clare and a sunny 25 for Ceduna. Further south, well, there is a slight chance of a shower over the Fleurieu Peninsula early on, and temperatures on the cool side. A top of 20 for Victor Harbour. Across Adelaide, there is a slight chance of a shower in the hills showers in the morning, but then the clouds are clearing off, leaving behind a mostly sunny afternoon. It will become quite windy though, especially by the coast. A top of 24 for Glenelg. In the city, clouds clearing and a top of 25 degrees. Winds picking up throughout the day. A fine 28 on Wednesday. We could see a shower or two developing late on Thursday. At this stage, the best chance of rain is on Friday. We could see a thunderstorm with that. And also the weekend is not looking very summery at all. Will temperatures in the low 20s.
That's very cool indeed. Thanks very much, Chelsea. 9 News at 6 begins right now.
Tonight, thousands of South Australians sent into quarantine because of the Perth COVID case. Are we doing enough here to make Medi hotels safe?
The bizarre case of an accused Black Widow killer whose convictions have been quashed because she told so many lies.
A band of suburban shoplifters target live loot, swiping a snake from an Adelaide store.
Torrens trashed how our lake got like this and what's being done about it.
And a COVID curveball for the Crows, players sent into isolation, and it's not just the women's team.
This is Adelaide's 9 News.
Good evening. Health authorities have just confirmed they've contacted as many as 4,000 people here in South Australia who will be ordered into quarantine because of the Perth COVID case.
Our border with WA was slammed shut so quickly it caused confusion for South Australians arriving home, including Crows AFL players.
Hugs that almost didn't happen.
1 minute they were getting on a flight and the next minute we heard that Perth's in lockdown, so we weren't sure if we were going to be able to see her or... yeah.
Emotions spilling over at Adelaide Airport with Perth plunged into a 5-day lockdown. The sudden move sparked by the virus leaking out of hotel quarantine on the weekend. A security guard testing positive to the highly contagious UK strain of the virus. Travellers caught out mid-air as border controls here were implemented with haste.
We were a bit worried whether we were going to be sent back.
Mixed messages for some passengers even as they were processed.
It's just updated on the system that we're doing 14 days quarantine now instead of just getting a test downstairs, so we will all be stuck inside.
When we're dealing with such